I just knew I had to take it to another level. Not just for the music, but also for me personally. As a man, I just knew that there was something somewhere that I wanted, and I know it's not completely out of reach, but for some reason I hadn't figured out how to reach out and grab it yet. It's time to reach out and grab it. Egress, at its bare roots, it just means exit. You know what I mean? Where I got the title Egress is when I was 16. I was watching Adventure Time. It's one of my favorite cartoons of all time. I was watching Adventure Time, and there was an episode of it called Hall of Egress. And in that episode, Finn had gotten stuck in this cave called the Hall of Egress, right? And he had to, like, every time he got out the cave, once he opened his eyes, he would wind up back in the cave. So, like, basically he had to, like, accept where he was at in life and let go of some baggage that he had going on in order to, like, really, like, free himself with those shackles and to escape the cave. And that episode, that was super powerful to me at that point in my life, because I felt like that was speaking to me and where I was at currently in my life. And so when I was 16, I made a project called Egress, and basically I just put everything that I had at that moment into that project, and I just talked. I just had to talk to people, you know what I'm saying? So this time around, when we came back to, like, yo, let's do this one and let's do another sequel to Egress, it's not like I never thought of doing that. I mean, like, the idea had been in my mind a few times. Like, I came back to the idea, like, yo, let's do Egress 2, but, like, it just wasn't right, you know what I mean? Every time I tried to do it, it wasn't right. And I think it's because I wasn't in that place again. I hadn't been in that place. I hadn't been in that place where it was like, yo, you're at a road right now, you know what I'm saying? It's like, how are we gonna do this? What are we about to do? You about to move into the next part? You about to turn up the temp? Or you about to lay back? I hadn't been there in a while, and I finally was there. So it's like, okay, I think that makes sense for us to do it now, because I feel that pressure. I feel that, you know, that tension bubbling up inside of me. So that's what we got to do, and it just was the perfect storm at that time and at that moment to do Egress 2. The key influences for this project, going into this project, yo, I was listening to a lot of J. Cole, man. I was listening to Friday Night Lights heavy. I was listening to the Warm Up heavy. And I was listening to a bit of Born Center and a bit of Forest Hills Drive, but, you know, predominantly Friday Night Lights and the Warm Up. That was, like, what was in heavy rotation for me. That, and also a lot of the college era Kanye. So, you know what I mean? I was listening to a lot of College Dropout. I was going back and listening to Late Registration for the first time in years. I hadn't listened to many songs off that album in so long. And I was listening to a lot of Graduation, which is my favorite album of all time. And that was just fueling me in my process on how I was creating this album and how I was crafting some of the beats that I was making, and how I was picking my flows and how to do my thing. And you know what I mean? That was just fueling my creativity while I was creating this project. What this project means to me is growth. You know what I mean? It means pushing the boundaries and pushing the limits, and you know what I mean, and just pushing further past what I see anybody else doing at this moment, and how serious I see anybody else taking this at this moment, and just going as hard as I can and putting out some of the dopest tracks that I could put out for y'all. You know what I mean? That's what this project means to me. This project means, this project just means everything to me. You know what I mean? It is some of the dopest stuff that I've made in a while. Some of the most powerful tracks that I've made ever on here. Honest to God, like, some of these tracks are honestly, like, in my top 10 favorite tracks that I have ever made, just because how personal they were to me and how how I feel when I'm listening to those tracks, like the feeling that I get when I'm listening back to them and hearing those words come out of my mouth. You know what I mean? It's just like, yo, that is so dope. And I feel like a lot of these tracks are gonna like resonate with a lot of the people that listen to this mixtape. You know what I mean? I feel like this mixtape is really gonna like be one of those ones where it's like, yo, I remember where I was when I listened to this track for the first time. You know what I mean? Not even trying to toot my own horn or, you know what I mean, rob me or nothing like that. But I'm just saying, there's some really dope shit that I'm putting out here on this project, and I feel like the people are gonna love it. You know what I mean? Me and the team, we already have been loving it, and we know what we got here. You know what I mean? And we know the potential that it has. We know what I did here this time. You know what I mean? And we know how special this joint is. So yeah, I mean, that's just what it is. That's you guys. I mean, like when y'all listen to this, comes out in a few days within the recording this. It's gonna be one of them ones. But look, yo, man, my name is Sean D-Lo, and if y'all have not heard it yet, if this is before we drop watching this, Egress drops May 21st. If y'all are watching this after we drop, Egress is out now. Go listen to that thing, man. It is an incredible project. And just a little hint at the futures, go ahead and look at the Broken Dreamers, because we coming up, baby. Yeah. I'll see y'all later. Deuce. Shit.